that she's got is perfect assurance, and I can't have no recollection of it whatever. And on the contrary, I do recall meeting her in David's apartment after I'd come there, and she came by one day.
You got sick. You had a terrible flu.
Boy, she's me, remembering so many things. I mean, the person that remembers has generally got the higher probability than the person who doesn't, of course.
And then I said to Claire, I thought I would go down and see you and bring you some chicken soup. And she said, don't do that. And I said, well, I thought I would do that.
So this was the first night you met?
No, this was like the day afterwards, or maybe a couple of days afterwards.
And he'd been sick that night?
Did you bring the soup or not?
I did.
Claire said no. You know, it's very strange having all this stuff that I don't remember, and yet I admit that a person who remembers is more likely to be right than the one that doesn't, because you don't generally invent things like this out of your head.
Mm-hmm.
So it's bizarre to me. I mean, meeting them at the bar, I don't remember anything like that.
What difference does it make?
None. Just.
Oh, that's
it's
good
just,
to know.
It's just.
What,
it's just.
you did. I wasn't here when you just said the part about the bar. I said wait, and then I think you finished
yeah,
while I was gone. So
We've just been arguing about whether or not it was at a bar.
She and David had gone to a bar after something or other.
And you came in on the bus or the train or however you got back.
And David told her that his best friend was coming in. And I came down and saw them there, met them there. How did I know you were there?
That's where you and David had arranged to meet.
Oh, for God's sake. It's like telling a story about somebody else. It's got no connection with anything I can remember. None.
do you remember the bar?
I remember, on the other hand, meeting her when she comes over to David's apartment and I'm there,
With chicken soup?
No, I don't remember that. Neither do I remember being sick, obviously a lot of stuff has dropped out of my mind, my memory, I know that. So, and if somebody does remember it, the odds are in favor of them, certainly. Unless they turn out to be people who really do invent things, which probably happens somewhat occasionally in life, but, boy, I'll tell you.
You remember the bar?
No.
You remember the meeting?
I remember it was an indistinctive little bar with booths.
What do you remember of the meeting?
I don't remember much about the meeting.
Uh-huh.
But you remember my coming in there?
Yes, because David said when we went to the Backers audition, I have to meet my friend Moreland, my best friend, who is coming in from California tonight. So after the show, we had to go to this place where you had arranged to meet. Maybe it was at the bus station. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it was...
A bus station is a pretty dreary place.
Yeah,
to
well,
spend
it
time.
wasn't a very thrilling bar.
Oh, God, it's hopeless. It's hopeless.
Where was the audition? In
The
Broadway,
Backers audition?
in the Broadway theater or no?
No, it was in some little theater.
Studio or a black box kind of
which
thing?
had very raked seats, I
Uh-huh.
remember that. And the performers were up on the stage and all these potential backers were in the audience.
And was it successful?
They did put it on
Yeah.
Broadway and it wasn't successful.
Yeah, but the audition was successful. It got backers.
Yeah.
But what do you remember? I mean, did your meeting that night make a strong impression?
With Moreland?
Yeah.
No.
Were you just bringing the soup because it was a sick person, or
I was what?
you were bringing this soup because it was a person in need, or
Yeah.
hadn't?
He was sick. I think he asked me to
Well,
come down.
Probably David, I think she liked a lot, so if you want to know why she was working at it all, it was because she liked David so much. I assure you.
Are you nodding? Your head?
Pardon?
Are you nodding your head?
Yes,
Okay.
I'm in total agreement.
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah.
Well, what's your first memory of all that? I mean, you don't remember that night, but you remember
No,
some meeting.
You know, I don't remember these details. I don't remember being sick
Yeah.
even.
But you remember
Well,
you have some first memory of Mom, I guess.
Yeah, my own recollection of it is that I was in the apartment with David, and she came over for some reason. I don't know the reason. Probably was something theatrical. I mean, you know, they were doing things in those days. You know, I told you once that the guy that plays that detective, his TV series for so many years, the actor, male actor. Oh, you know, he played that sort of stumbling.
Columbo.
Peter
Peter
Falk.
Falk. Yeah.
But Peter Falk, yeah. I mean, Peter Falk was coming over regularly to rehearse with Bronya on some. I think it was Don Juan they were doing. I mean, he played the sort of guy that's the nasty servant of Don Juan, and Bronya was I don't know what. You know, so I mean there were things like that going on. You know, where you're doing things. I mean, and that in turn was a theater that was meant for people to come and. It was like an exhibition. I mean, for people to come in who might be producers, who would be, who would. The producers would drop in to check an actor maybe, or a.
That's the kind of thing you were talking about,
Yeah,
right? Like
or a director, or whatever, you know. So it could be one or two such people sitting in the audience, not a lot of people, and it was a small thing. It was very primitive, sort of. It was not a theater really. It was just it had a stage, and you had some seats out there, and so they were doing that. But I mean, of course, since they hope somebody will be there, and people are generally somebody there, they take it seriously, you know, and so they rehearse seriously its own. But the other business, I can't connect with it all. I mean, and I hardly ever, and David didn't go to bars at all. I mean, it's
It
strange.
was a place we had arranged to meet.
I know, but
it might have been a cafe or
I mean,
Could have been.
you know, I mean, we did not habituate bars.
It could have been a little coffee shop. But to me, I remember it as a bar.
You know, it's beyond me.
Well, and weren't you married very shortly afterwards?
Yes.
Was it like a month or something? Or?
Yes.
Not that fast. Are you
Yes.
kidding? No.
We met
Nothing
in
of the sort.
February and we were married in May.
All right, so that's
3 months.
March,
Yeah.
April, May, 3 months.
And you used to ride home with me in the Morris Minor and then take the subway back downtown.
Really?
Who's Morris Minor?
Well, I
Was it?
remember the Morris Minor very well, of course, because after we were married, we had that as our car.
Was it your Morris Minor? Oh.
Yeah, and I mean, the main thing I remember, the way I remember the Morris Minor always is, my picture of it is always driving when we lived that first year out in Michigan, and driving from Michigan back to New York where her mother was, and her mother would sometimes take care of the baby. So anyhow, Catherine in the little seat that you have, you know, the little...
Which was a little plastic
Yeah,
flimsy
yeah, a little seat
thing.
like that, sitting up in this seat next to her in that Morris Minor. I think I was in another car.
You were in a rental, I think.
No, not a rental. It was a car that I had.
And we didn't have any other
No,
car.
I know what it was. It was a car
What was
that
the
your
car?
brother was
Wanted-
giving to your mother.
That's right.
Yes, and I was driving it. So, I mean, I could see them, you know. And I have that image still of a little tiny Catherine in that little, you know, sort of seat that you put little tiny children in the little tiny Morris